is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I just wanted to talk about the Bulls. I have covered them all year and have updates about them throughout the season, and I was just curious about some questions that people have been asking about the Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine having the best season of his career, really showing that he can score and basically destroy any defense out there, and being able to stretch out the floor from the three-point line and being able to create shots and go on rampages offensively. They found a guy that they can get the ball to, and he can help them win still and get things done. But one of the biggest problems with the Bulls is that they're injured majority of the year. They have the chemistry that they needed to really play together and be on the same page. I really do blame Jim Boylen a lot for the reason why they've been so stagnant and why they haven't lived up to the hype, just because the offense isn't where it needs to be. People not being utilized the way they need to be utilized. And it's just the fact that they just couldn't stay healthy. Guys just wasn't on the court. They haven't really played their starting lineup a lot. They made the trade for Otto Porter, and he was beat up all year. Lauri Markkanen, probably their second or third best player. He missed majority of the year. Wendell Carter, their best defender, in my personal opinion, he missed a lot of time. And Zach LaVine and Kobe White, that's just not enough. Both of those guys are not defenders. Both of those guys give up a lot of points, and both of those guys can get hot. They can go on rampages, but that's not enough to win on the NBA level, especially because the NBA is at one of the highest points this year, as so many guys are skilled and so many guys have multiple talents than one, and that just makes it tougher to defend. It makes it tougher to win when everybody is so skilled. So to me, when I look at the Bulls, I look at them as a mess. I look at them as what a young team usually would be, finding ways to lose games, turn over the ball, not executing, trying to make a name for themselves, not being on the same page on both sides of the ball. And it's going to take a lot of work to make this team a legitimate team in the East that can win the title. And can Zach LaVine be that guy to be the best player on the team, which he is right now, on the championship team? And that's tough to say because he's not the playmaker right now. He's not the defender right now that can guard his position and hold his own. And honestly, the whole team is just all over the place. I feel like they have the talent of a playoff team. You know, a lot of people said this team should be able to make the playoffs. They said this team should be at least able to grab a 7th or 8th spot. When you look at them on paper, it looks realistic. It doesn't sound as crazy, but the fact that they wasn't healthy, and when they are healthy, they just don't play well together, and they just never on the same page on both ends of the court, without communication, without belief, without desire, and without hunger to really get up on your man and defend him, because a lot of these guys are good athletes for their size and for their position. It's not like they're just playing a bunch of guys that are slow-footed or not lanky. They have space, they have athleticism, they have size, and they should be able to be a great defensive team. They should be able to be one of the better teams if they was coached the right way and they was put in the right situation. They knew what to do each possession, because I feel like I can't blame Zach LaVine for playing hero ball when there's so many injuries out there and you can't really trust his teammates because they seem like they're scared to shoot. It seems like a lot of the time they'd rather Zach LaVine go off than even touch the ball. And that's that Allen Iverson syndrome, where everybody on your team really can't do anything on their own. So they need you to initiate. They need you to make them better. They need you to get a bucket. And I see a lot of that in Zach LaVine. A lot of his shots or circuits are crazy, but it seems like even Jim Boylen rather have him do that than even, pass to a lot of his teammates that be on the court. And when you look at the roster, it's just, I don't see coming into this year, I don't see why they wouldn't be a playoff team, getting Satoransky and Porter and these guys that really just fill positions that they had holes in and gives them upgrade of talent in general throughout the whole entire roster. And they still are one of the worst teams in the league. And they only won 22 games so far this season since it's been over because of the COVID-19. It's just unbelievable how the season has went for this team, and it shouldn't have been like that. And when you look at this Bulls team, they have so far to go with so much talent. This team should already be competing for a sixth or a fifth seed in the Eastern Conference. Like when you look at this team, they should. But I think next year is going to be a year with new front office, a bunch of guys that's going to be able to evaluate what they did this season, see what they did wrong. You can't really blame it all on health because you still have to be able to compete without it because it's part of the game. And just find out who works, who doesn't work, who wants to be here, who doesn't want to be here, who wants to grow, who wants to develop, who has the hunger to get better, and just build around those guys because you already paid Zach LaVine. You have to pay Laurie Marketing, who hasn't really proven that he can really be an all-star this year. His rookie season was better than this season, and you just can't have that type of season when you're going into a contract year. And on top of that, he looks a little hesitant. He doesn't look like he wants to take over games. He doesn't look like that dominant big that we thought he could be. He's more passive. He's more team friendly, and he's a little softer. And you can't have that if that's going to be the guy you're going to try to win titles with. He needs to be more assertive. He needs to be more aggressive. He needs to look for his shot a lot more because he can shoot. He is athletic and mobile enough to beat guys off the dribble, to get to the free throw line, and his three-point shooting been okay, but it hasn't been where it needed to be 3 years later. He hasn't really made a significant jump. If anything, he regressed it this year, and injuries are a part of that, but he didn't really have a spectacular year last year either. So when I look at this team, I see the fact that they have young talent. They can make a lot of trades to get guys gone. They can move a lot of players just because a lot of their guys can play and a lot of their guys are good players. So it's not like they got a bunch of bad contracts and a bunch of guys nobody want. They got guys that can actually be good on other teams and also be missing pieces on other teams. And that's what we thought too when they got a lot of these players, but it didn't really make too much of a difference this year. So when I look at this team, they're far away from where they want to be, which is sad for the Chicago Bulls fan that haven't won since Michael Jordan, which is ironic because it's Michael Jordan time right now because everybody watched The Last Dance yesterday. But it's just a frustrating, situation where you're going through so many coaches, you're going through so many different players, and you had Derrick Rose, you had Jimmy Butler team, and now you're trying to go this different direction, and now you're even further away than where you was then, and now you're trying to figure out how do we get to that level where we was before, but also if we get to that level, can we get back to that championship level, which they haven't done since the 90s. And that's how hard it is to win a title. That's how hard it is to get to the playoffs. And that's just how hard it is to win in the NBA. And like I said, one of the biggest flaws of this team is that they are young. They do make a lot of mistakes. They still are growing. They still are learning. And they're not where they need to be on both sides of the court. And that's Jim Boylen, too. You have to find a way to make these guys compete. You have to find a way to get the best out of your players. And I feel like he has failed in those situations. And he has to take a lot of the blame too because he hasn't elevated nobody play. He hasn't developed anybody. Like I said, a lot of these guys didn't really get better. A lot of them got worse. And they playing on a more talented roster, which they should be able to get better and play off of each other's talent. And they haven't been able to do that consistently for the last 2 years, which is what you don't want to see from a young team. You want to see them grow. You want to see them develop. You want to see them happy and excited to play each other. You want to see them happy and excited to play a game, to show off their new moves, to show off their plays and playing together. And they just haven't been able to do that. So when I look at Jim Boylen, this cannot be the guy that can really get this team to where it has to go because he has proven that the last 2 years they have been a complete embarrassment and they really aren't the team that we all thought that they could be, and they far away from that. So I think a coaching change has to happen, and I think some moves do have to be made. But if they do try to use this team one more year, I wouldn't be mad about it just because you want to see what a new coach would bring in. You want to see what a new head would do. Like I said, we seen it with Jason Kidd going to the Bucks, took the same damn roster mostly and made them into a playoff team. And Mike Budenholzer took that team and made them into a better team. Steve Kerr took over Mark Jackson and made them a historic team. So one coach can find a way to get the best out of a talent. They can find a way to push a team to another level, get them more concentrated, get them more locked in and focused, be a little bit more harder on them, especially because they are a young team, and make them play together and make them excited to play together. And I just don't see that right now with Jim Boylen. I just don't see that right now with the team. And you can't have that when you're trying to teach them good habits. You can't have that when you're trying to get back to the playoffs, because this is why they're bad. But other than that, when I look at this Bulls team, I do see why everybody love them. This is a team that you love just because you see them, and you hate them just because they're not the team that you think that they are or you think that they should be. And that's why they're so attractive. That's why people talk about them. That's why people think that they should be a playoff team. But it's just not reality. They are further than what you think. 22 games is not going to cut it, with this type of talent. That's just embarrassing. But with them being able to get another good pick, with them having some players like Marketing, like Wendell, like Porter, like Zach LaVine, Satoransky, um, even Kobe White, they have a lot of pieces that can really become a competitive team. It's just they haven't been able to figure out even when they're healthy. So to me, it's a lot of changes that have been made, and I think that they need to make that coaching change. And I think they really want to figure out, what should we do with Zach LaVine? Can he be that number two option? Will he want to be a number two option? And can he be a number one? Even though he is a great player, he is flawed, just like every other player in the league, but he's flawed in the wrong ways, just because he's not leading by example, trying to make his teammates better, not defending good enough, even though he put effort that way. It just, the way he plays is not the way you want to win championship wise. But he's also not, he's still young. So he's still learning, he's still developing, and this is his best season in my personal opinion. But the way he's been playing is kind of counterintuitive to what you really want a championship team to be. And it could be the health. It could be the fact that he was forced to do it to help them win. But, you got to look at Zach LaVine. We paid him the max. Can he really be that championship player? Can he really lead us to a championship? Can he really be a finals MVP? And that's something that we're going to have to see. And same with Laurie Marketing. Will he ever be a dominant big? Will he ever take over games? Will he ever be that guy that can get you 20 and 8? He showed that he could potentially do it. He just haven't done it consistently, which is a mark on him. And then you look at Wendell Carter. Can he stay healthy? This guy can protect the rim. This guy can really be a great screen setter, a great passer, and he can give you some offense from time to time, but he's willing to do the dirty work. That's the type of player you want to build with. And that's why nobody really shows hate to Wendell Carter, because he does everything you need him to do, protecting the rim, rebounding, helping everybody get open and get space, and also, setting up teammates. And he also will hit a three from time to time, a mid-range from time to time, and catch a lob and finish around the paint from time to time. He just can't stay on the court, which is unfortunate. So I like what they're doing. I like where their talent is at, but they got to find an identity, who they want to build around, who they want to keep, who wants it, and who really want to be in Chicago. Because a lot of these guys, they did it for the money, or they did it just because they had the opportunity to make a name for themselves or improve their position around the league and their brand around the league. But who really wants to be here, who really loves being here, and who really able to look at themselves and take their game to another level so this team can be successful in the NBA. That's what they have to look for, and that's what they should be trying to do. So other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. It'll be in the description below. Like on Facebook, like the video. If you already like the video, thanks for the love and support. And if you're new to the channel, I do videos just like this each and every day. And I also do breakdown footage. I cover the draft, summer league, G League sometimes, depending if the player comes to the NBA. I do preseason playoff predictions. I also do trade deadline and free agency. So I do basketball all year round is basically what I'm saying. I do make a video each and every day. I try to. And on top of that, I love doing what I do. I enjoy giving you guys knowledge, and I enjoy doing it for free. So the best thing you can do is just subscribe and like and share, and that's free. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. Let me know what you guys think about the Bulls.